Hi, I'm Chris Morris from Opening Spaces. Welcome back to the Good For You moment. Today we are going to work with spheres of trust, and this is a relational practice. We could call it relational somatic, since I work with healing through somatic body therapy. This is a relational practice, especially for sensitives, empaths, creatives, those who are working with that intersection, which is really all of us, between us and the world. And with this concept of spheres of trust, we are determining who gets into what sphere of trust within our lives. It seems very simple. It's a practice that many of us haven't learned when we were little, and it's something that is necessary for us to really heal into our unique, authentic wholeness that we are all able to do. It is our birthright. Okay, so here's the practice. The first thing is that we want to feel into. So this is a relational somatic. Somatic just means felt sense practice. So I want you to bring your awareness. See this little circle I have here on my lower ribs. This is still in our heart space, but it's low. It's down by our lower ribs. So I want you to feel, imagine and feel. It's an imaginative practice. This is not our anatomy. Feel into this first innermost sphere. And we could call this our authentic sacred core. And this is where our heart of hearts resides. If you've listened to this month's guidance, you would have heard about heart of hearts. It's okay if you haven't. I want you to feel into that innermost sphere, this about a 1-inch diameter sphere in your lower ribs, still in your chest, heart space area. And I want you to really get a feel of this sphere. And this is our innermost sphere, and only vetted, trustable folks get in here, right? And how do people get vetted and trustable? It's through experience. And this would be a very small amount of people, 3 or 4 people that actually you trust to give you feedback on your life, to help you when you're in times of crisis, to celebrate these big moments of growth and expansion. And in this innermost sphere, it is imperative that we have built relationship. And this is over time, and this is through repair. So every relationship is going to have its challenges. We are all going to have to forgive one another, and we have to feel into. Now, this place of feeling into, we may not have a strong sense of that. That's something that can be learned. But we feel into this place of, is repair appropriate and possible, and how do we do that? People have to meet us in these places. They have to see us. They have to hear us. They have to listen to us. They have to allow us to be who we authentically are. And this is not many people, 3 or 4 people. Sometimes it's 1. And it's built through trust over time. Okay, that's our first innermost sphere. And then our next sphere is going to be, we have 2 choices. It can be around our head and our heart, or it can be around our whole body. Okay, head and heart, so this whole upper half, including our heart space, or around our whole body. And in this second sphere, these are people that are trustable, and they're close, and we love them, and there's a good relationship, but they just don't get into that innermost sphere of trust, the inner sanctum, right? And in this second sphere could be our family, our kids. It could be it actually could be some colleagues, depending on how close you are. So this is the second sphere. They're close. These are intimate relationships, but they don't get that super close in. And the thing we want to feel on this is the boundaries between one and the other, because often what happens with those of us that have more thin boundaries or more loose boundaries, we let people into these inner more spheres when they haven't earned that trust, right? So we actually attempt to create more intimacy than the relationship has proved that is able to handle. And then those of us that have really strong boundaries, that tend to do everything alone because we're very adept at that, we may need to soften our boundaries and let folks in, people that are trustable, right? It's earned trust. This is a relational experience. They don't just get in, they have to earn their trust. That's a good thing. So the second sphere is either around head and heart or whole body. And the difference would be, like, if some of us have had people that are close in, that could have been people we were married to, or in-laws of our of our exes and that type of thing, or friends that were once close in, but something happened and they're pushed out a little bit. They've lost a little bit of trustability, but you still are close and there's still enough intimacy that you feel safe. This is all about feeling safe. Our biology needs safety to engage socially in a healthy manner. Okay, and so after these, around whole heart or whole body, is everything that's on the outside of that. Things that are not in, they do not get close in experiences and relationships. They don't have access to your innermost authentic heart because they haven't proved that they're safe and trustable enough, right? People could get access after time into one of these closer in circles, but again, it is through trustable experiences. And so on the outside of this, it could be colleagues, it actually could be family, it could be friends that were close, it could be folks that we grew up with, but they're not quite in anymore. We have the ability and we owe it to ourselves to actually figure out where folks are in these spheres of trust, to have these relational experiences that actually feed our lives and nourish our lives. But the first thing we have to do is we have to feel, and some of us maybe have an easier time at feeling than others, and you can just imagine it. You can just imagine these spheres or circles if you're like, I don't know what a boundary feels like, right? Imagination helps us build a relationship with the subtle world, okay? So spheres of trust, the inner sanctum. Within that inner sanctum is another piece that is really small. It's really small, and this would be our heart of hearts. And within our heart of hearts is that space where we are related to our essential essence, and it's essentially a relationship with the divine. And every single being has a direct connection to pure divine right in that heart of hearts space. We actually could have it in every cell of our body, but most of us don't have that awareness yet. So if this is something that we're not relating to other humans in a way that is trustable and safe for us to move forward, to grow, to heal, we take it to our heart of hearts. We take it to our essential essence, to the divine. And the more we can find and feel into this relationship too, the more we build trust with our source, our own spirit. And our own spirit is just the way that life and essence moves through us. It's one essence that contracts and moves into a myriad, an undetermined amount of expressions, right? So when we say our essence, it's the way that essence and life force and source and spirit moves through us as us. And when we can get a relationship with that and to start to feel that there's a trustable, safe, supportive ground there, then we create a security that is unshakable, and it feels really good. Okay, these are spheres of trust. I am Chris Morris. This is Opening Spaces, the Good for You moment. Thank you so much for listening and watching. I will see you soon.